I'm joined here by the home team for the fixture that we're about to preview, and that is SuperSport United. And I'm joined by Coach Kaitano Tembo, as well as skipper Dean Furman. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here. And Coach, if we can just start with you. I know you had a fixture last night, but you go into this weekend on Sunday at the Lucas Moripe Stadium. It's the MTN8, it's a big one. And after concluding this round of fixture, you stand a chance of being in the final for the third time in a row. Just your thoughts heading into the match.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I think it's going to be quite difficult. He just came off a very tough game against Baroka, which was very difficult, which took a lot from the players as well. So we used today, probably and tomorrow, to try and recover, so that we have enough energy. Players should be prepared for the MTN8 against Sundowns. It's a game which we know that is played over 2 legs, so we would need to manage the game, especially in the first leg of playing at home, where we don't need to concede, but probably also get a goal or 2. But the main thing is for us to manage the game and get a good result, which will give us an opportunity in the second leg.
Thank you, Coach. And Dean, ever since that opening game of the season in the league against Sundowns, you guys seem to be flying. Just your thoughts, overall in the match as well as Sundowns as a club.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we've come a long way since that first game in a short space of time. I think we looked at it with the coach and the team. I think there was a lot to learn from that game. And I think, as we've seen from then on, we've changed a few things, and our performances and results have been very, very positive since that game. So we also looked at the game, and despite losing 2-0, there was a 15-minute period where we had a good number of chances to equalise and turn the game, maybe have stolen a point from that game. So we know it's a team that's been difficult for us over the last few years for a number of reasons, and every opportunity we get to play them, we hope that we can turn that those results around in our favour. So we're looking forward to the game. As the coach said, it's 2 legs, so we have to manage the game correctly, and hopefully we want to reach our 3rd final. So there's no bigger motivation for us than to be in another MTN8 final.
All right, thank you, Dean. Let's now open it up to the floor. We'll take the first question. We've got a roving mic, just by a show of hands. Take the first question. On the floor. Okay, Mahlatsi.
Coach, given the nature of the away goal rule, what will be the best result from the first leg?
Well, I think the best result for us if we win the game and we don't concede, that would be a best result, to take us into the second leg, because in the second leg that's where the away goal rule, count. So it's a derby, and we know, previously there's always been goals. So we need to try and manage the game properly so that we don't, expose ourselves and we don't give ourselves an opportunity in the second leg.
Right, Kuliso.
Coach, this is one for you as well. Last season, towards the end of the season, there was a point where the first prize was to try and go for the league title. That did not happen, and also you were looking at getting a place in the continental competition. That did not happen as well. With all that considered, how important is this trophy for your career as a SuperSport United coach at this point?
Well, I think our attitude and my attitude has always been, to do well in each and every game which we play. But on a personal level, I think I would want, to win something for the club, because I think I've got good group of players. They are put together, a bunch of good players, good professionals, and I think they also deserve to win something. And this cup gives us an opportunity to do that. We've been in this, we've been into the final the past 3 years, and we've won it once and lost it twice, I think. So again, another opportunity for us to win it, and only starts with a game against Sundowns on Sunday, and I think that's very important for us to really focus on that game and put out a performance which will give us an opportunity to get into the final.
Okay, let's go to Karabo, then Minette.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dean. SuperSport United, in terms of performance, after the game against SuperSport United, against Sundowns, the loss, the 2-0 loss, it's been a totally different side. It looks like you guys are now more of a family affair. Bully is now looks like a magician with the ball at least, and similar without it. To also speak to these youngsters in terms of how important it is to play for SuperSport United, because I mean the results have been absolutely fantastic since they came to SuperSport. What has changed inside the dressing room of your club?
I don't think an awful lot's changed. I think if you looked at the Sundowns performance, they dominated for long periods. That is what Sundowns can do to you, but there was a spell of, as I said, of 15 to 20 minutes where we really came into the game, and that was probably with Sipo coming on. He put his foot on the ball and did what we know he does really, really well. And I think that's a great thing that we have at SuperSport. We've got young players, and the coach will always tell you if you're doing the business and you're looking good in training and you're working hard, then you're going to get your opportunities. Another young player came on yesterday, Jamie Webber, scored the goal that finished the game for us. So I think that's a fantastic thing for SuperSport, that if you're a young player and you want to progress into a first team, it's a fantastic place to be. So for us, the team is full of confidence. I think everyone at the moment feels that they have an opportunity to play and affect the game. I think players are coming off the bench. Sipo did it in the first game, Jamie Webber did it last night, Jones did it in one of the games.
Jones played against
Pirates
and came on the squad.
So I think that the squad is very healthy and enjoying working with one another, and I think everyone feels at the moment that they've got a huge role to play. So I think we're in a very healthy environment, we're full of confidence, and we want to turn that confidence into success, and what a great place to do that in this trophy so early on in the season.
Minnie?
Firstly, to the coach, at the AXA Premiership launch, you talked about that first game with Sundowns. It was still very much pre-season. I mean, judging by the results, would you say that now you're into gear and the heat is up and the competition is on and you expect players to be at a certain level? And Dean, can you just elaborate what you said after the 2-0 loss? You went to the drawing board. What was rubbed out? What was added? What was turned around or looked differently in order to bring the results that we see?
Yeah, well, I think the first game was always going to be difficult, because of game time, because it was our first competitive game. Sometimes we have a good start, sometimes we have a bad start, but what was important for me in that game, it was the performance and the attitude towards the game. From the players, the fitness levels of the players, and we could build from that performance, going into the next game, and that's what we've been doing. It's always there is always going to be a progression in terms of our performances, and if you look at that from that game, a lot of players have also come into play. We've used quite a number of players in terms of managing the squad, and we're still early days. Young players coming in as well doing the business. Sometimes they realize that you play one game and the next game you're on the bench. The next game you're not even playing a part. And always try and keep them on their toes so that they're always motivated, knowing that when they work well, they do well, they're always going to get an opportunity.
Dean?
Sorry, what has changed since the first game?
Yeah, you said earlier that you went with the coach, you guys went through the drawing board. just what was written off, what was added, what was rubbed out, that was able to bring the performances you've seen in the last couple of weeks?
I think one of the key things that we took positively from that first game was the number of chances that we created. If you're not creating chances, there's a bit of a worry. Since that first game, we went and scored 3 against Pirates, we went and scored 3 against Vits, 1 which could have been more against Chiefs, and 2 last night. So the chances are that was a real positive that we took from it. And I think in the first game, if I can remember correctly, I don't think we were as solid as we normally are in our structure and our base, and that's something that we work very, very hard with the coach, just on our structure and our base, and that's something that definitely we've worked on in the different formations that the coach wants us to play. We've worked very, very hard on that structure and that base, and that's something that maybe we were slightly missing against Sundowns. And if you open up against Sundowns, they're going to cause you problems. So I think from that game, we worked incredibly hard at getting our structures, and you only have to look at the Pirates' performance to see tactically we did change a few things, and we were fantastic on the night. So I definitely think just working on our structure a bit more. Also, there's a couple of new players in the team, so working on those partnerships and understanding. For instance, Bradley and Gabuza, and we're seeing the 2 of them linking up well, like the goal against Chiefs. So I think a number of things have progressed over the last few weeks, but certainly one of the key things to come out of that game was just to work with the coach on our structure and our base, certainly in our shape.
Right, let's go to Tepam.
Coach Tepam from Kickoff, just how much of a plus is it that going into this game you've got a guy like Frobler performing so well, and at one stage even the CEO mentioned that Pirates were interested in him, just to not have let him go? How big is that for you in terms of your planning for the season?
Well, in terms of our structure, we always knew that Bradley is a very important, part in terms of our attacking structure, because he's got the qualities which we look for, and he's one player we're not going to let go. The previous seasons, I think his head has been hampered by injuries, because fully fit Bradley is one of the top strikers in the country, and you can see now he's had a very good start. All we can do is to try and make him, keep him fit, manage him properly so that he doesn't get injuries. But he looks in good condition, and that's what motivates me, because I know he plays a huge role in our attacking structure.
Okay, Robin Juk.
My question goes to the coach. How much lucky are you to have this man like this of Dean Feynman? Because we see that he's workaholic, he breaks a play, he also starts an attack as well. How much lucky do you feel to have him?
It means a lot. I think in each and every structure you need a spine. And Dean, Clayton, Bradley, Ronwin, that's the spine of our structure. And it's easy for us to just fit in the rest of the puzzle, because we've got the spine, we've got the structure. That's why sometimes we don't really go out and sign players or bring players, just for the sake of bringing players, because we know we've got the spine, we've got the structure. We just need to bring the right, players around our structure. That's why it's easy for our young players to come in and perform the way they are performing, because they are learning from the best, and we're privileged, to have a player like him as a captain, and we want also to, keep him a little longer, at the club.
Okay, last round of questions. We'll go back to Mahlatsi.
Coach, you have quite a number of young players in the team. How do you manage them? Because young players can be a challenge sometimes.
Well, I think it's not easy. It's always difficult, but it's not only about me managing them, but it's also us at the club and the senior players which we have as well. Because young players need to realize that you are always as good as your last game. And That's the message we always pass to them. Sipo, everyone has been talking about Sipo, but people don't realize that Sipo has been in our structure for the past 3 years. He's played in the Confed Cup, he's even scored against TP Mazembe. And only now he's coming out of his shell, he's a little bit, came back a little bit mature, more consistent. And when we see that there is something wrong with the player, with the youngster, we try and withdraw him a little bit, so that we give him a little bit time for him to focus on himself, on himself. And Jamie as well. Jamie has been around. Jones has been around. Tebza has been around. Aubrey has been around. Quite a few youngsters. We've got another one, centre back, Luke Flares as well. They're all youngsters, but you've got to have the right environment around them so that you create an environment which is suitable for youngsters to come in there and learn. Learning environment, and also a disciplined environment, but you've got to have the right players, the right senior players around them who they can learn from.
Just to follow up, I take it they'll be part of the, without really much of this, they'll be part of the plan for Saturday.
Yeah, most definitely they're part of the squad. Those are the players which we have, and they're going to play because they are registered, and so far they've been playing. They've played a huge part in terms of our success, and still part of the plans going forward.
Okay, let's go to Zakele.
Zakele from Soda's. My question goes to both of you. Dean, you've seen Ronwen rise. He has risen and in fact risen above criticism in the national team. From what you've seen in him in AFCON and coming back home, do you think he's ready to claim the number one spot? And to the coach, you've seen Ronan rising from being a youngster to the first team. Do you believe now he's ready to train for the national team or even be a number one goalkeeper for the national team?
Who's that? Ronwen?
Yeah.
He's ready. He's the number one. At the moment, he's the number one, so he's ready.
Roman's absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. There's no two ways about it. His confidence, there doesn't seem to be a weak part of his game. He can come for crosses. His distribution is absolutely fantastic. His confidence, the way he talks to his team, he's got many great attributes to his game. And he's an absolute pleasure to play with, and I'm just so happy for him that he's been recognised at the Bafana level. He took his opportunity, and I thought he was absolutely excellent at the AFCON, and I only see Roman getting better and better as he gets more experienced. Certainly at that level, I just see him getting better and better. So we're very lucky to have such a quality goalkeeper who really just calms everyone down because we've got so much confidence in him. So there's no panic in that department. We really know that anything in and around that area we expect Roman to deal with, and that's a credit to how good he is at his job. And as I said, I'm just delighted that he's been recognised at the Bafana level, and I can see him being the number one for many years and really holding down that jersey. So we're very lucky to have him at SuperSport.
Last question, Robin Duke.
Coach, from my side, with the game against Sundowns, where do you think we need to get it right?
Well, I think against Sundowns it's always a difficult game. Our pressing has got to be very good because we've got very good individual players. We work as a team, and that's the foundation of our structure. Where Sundowns have got good individual players who can change the game for them, and we have that as well. But we rely mostly on the team. So we need to press properly, and at the same time also use the ball very well as well. Secure the ball and keep the ball for longer periods. Because they are a team also which don't really like defending. So if you have to keep the ball for longer periods, you force them to do what they don't really like to do. But at the same time, I think it's a derby, whereas if you don't take your chances, you are bound to be punished. So we also want to take our chances, the opportunities which we create. In the first game, we created a lot of chances, good scoring opportunities which we didn't take. And they created few and they scored. That was the only difference between the two teams.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to end it here. We'll take a quick lunch.